All right, get this. You know how addicted we are to our phones?
Totally.
Or how we rely on laptops for, well, pretty much everything.
Yeah.
We're diving deep into the world of the wizards who make that magic happen. Microelectronics engineering technicians.
Oh, cool.
We've got a stack of intel from RoleCatcher about this career path, and trust me, it's way more interesting than it might sound at first.
I bet.
So what's the deal with these technicians?
What's fascinating here is how this career takes those mind-blowing scientific concepts about tiny electronics and turns them into actual gadgets we use every day.
Right.
These technicians are like the bridge between imagination and reality.
Okay, that's a really cool way to put it.
Yeah.
So we're talking about more than just soldering wires.
Exactly. They're collaborating directly with engineers, taking designs for things like the brains of your smartphone, the microprocessors, or the memory chips that store your photos, and they're building and testing these intricate systems.
Wow, talk about attention to detail.
It's crazy.
It's like working with microscopic Legos that power our entire world.
Yeah.
But speaking of the real world, what does the job outlook look like for these tech wizards?
That's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
The research from RoleCatcher shows a projected job growth of 4% in this field between 2019 and 2029.
So it's a stable career path. That's reassuring in this age of robots taking over, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This isn't just about job security, though.
Right.
You're talking about getting in on the ground floor of a field that's exploding.
Wow.
As technology keeps advancing, the demand for skilled microelectronics engineering technicians is only going to skyrocket.
Okay, so we've established this isn't your average dead-end job. But let's be real, every job has its pros and cons.
Sure.
What does RoleCatcher say about the good, the bad, and the tiny?
On the plus side, they highlight the high demand, which we've already touched on.
Right?
But there's also the thrill of working with cutting-edge tech, literally being at the forefront of innovation.
Nice.
And don't forget the potential for career growth and the fact you get to work with your hands, applying your skills across a bunch of different industries.
So it's not just about staring at a computer screen all day.
Exactly. It's very hands-on.
That's a huge plus. But I'm guessing working with microscopic components probably comes with its share of challenges, right?
Right. There are a few downsides.
Yeah.
The source material is very upfront about those.
Okay.
You need to be a constant learner, adaptable to new technologies. And because you're dealing with such intricate components, attention to detail isn't just a good skill to have, it's essential.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
It sounds like the kind of field where you never really stop learning, which could be a pro or con, depending on your personality, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, safety is paramount.
Right.
RoleCatcher mentions potential exposure to hazardous materials. So it's not all fun and games.
Right, right.
You need to be meticulous and follow safety protocols to a T.
Okay, so maybe not the best fit for someone who gets bored easily or has shaky hands.
Right.
But what about the skills themselves? I'm guessing it takes a certain kind of brain to excel in this field.
It does.
What does RoleCatcher say about the skills that set you apart?
You might think it's all about technical know-how.
Yeah.
And while that's definitely crucial, RoleCatcher emphasizes some surprising abilities.
Okay, like what?
For instance, strong reading comprehension is listed as key.
Wait, really? I wouldn't have thought that was top of the list for a tech-heavy job.
I know, right?
What's the connection?
Think about it. Technicians have to constantly decode complex technical documents, understand super specific engineering specifications,
Right.
and interpret safety protocols, all of which are critically important.
So it's like being a detective, but for microscopic circuits. You've got to analyze the clues and make sure you're interpreting them correctly. That's a cool way to think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of analyzing clues, critical thinking is another skill RoleCatcher emphasizes.
Makes sense.
You've got to be able to troubleshoot when things inevitably go wrong.
Yeah.
Those tiny components don't always play nice.
For sure not.
Right.
Which probably ties into the whole teamwork aspect that's so common in tech fields, right?
Yeah.
It's all about collaboration, isn't it?
It is.
RoleCatcher seems to really hit that point home.
Absolutely.
Building these intricate systems isn't a solo mission.
Right.
You're working alongside engineers, fellow technicians, and sometimes even clients, making sure everyone's on the same page.
So active listening is crucial.
Oh, yeah.
It's not enough to be a tech genius.
Nope.
You've got to be a team player, too.
Precisely. You need to clearly communicate your findings. Be receptive to feedback.
Yeah.
And work together to solve Those head-scratching problems that inevitably pop up when you're dealing with technology this complex.
It's like a high-tech orchestra. Everyone has their part to play to create something amazing.
I like that.
Okay, so you've mastered the technical skills. You're a pro at collaboration. What's next?
Right.
What does RoleCatcher say about climbing the career ladder in this field?
That's one of the exciting things about this career path. It's not a dead end.
Okay, good.
RoleCatcher points to some really interesting opportunities for advancement.
Like what? For starters, there's the classic move into supervisory roles.
Okay.
As you gain experience and expertise, you could lead a team of technicians.
So there's room to grow your leadership skills.
Absolutely.
I like it.
And for those who really want to be on the cutting edge, there are opportunities in research and development.
Oh, wow.
We're talking about pushing the boundaries of what's possible in the world of microelectronics.
Oh, cool.
Inventing the future, essentially.
Now, that sounds seriously cool.
It is.
But I'm guessing those high-level positions probably come with some stiff competition.
They do.
Does RoleCatcher mention anything about gaining a competitive edge in the field?
They do.
Okay.
And it's not just about experience,
Right.
although that's obviously important.
Sure.
They highlight the value of certifications.
Certifications, like official credentials.
Exactly.
Remind me more.
RoleCatcher specifically mentions the Certified Electronics Technician.
Okay.
That's the CET,
Okay.
the Certified Microelectronics Technician,
Yeah.
or CMT.
Yep.
And the Certified Semiconductor Professional, the CSP.
Okay. Those sound pretty impressive.
They are.
But for those of us who aren't fluent in microelectronics jargon, what do those certifications actually mean?
Good point.
It's important to break it down.
Yeah.
The CET is a broad certification
Okay.
demonstrating your knowledge of electronics in general. It's a great foundation.
Right.
Then you've got the CMT, which
Yeah.
is more specialized.
Okay.
It shows employers you're an expert in the world of microelectronics specifically.
So if you're serious about working with those tiny components, that's the certification to aim for.
Exactly.
So,
And finally, you've got the CSP,
yeah.
which focuses on semiconductor manufacturing.
Okay.
Semiconductors are the heart of microelectronics. So this certification demonstrates a deep understanding of the entire manufacturing process.
Like leveling up your skills and proving your expertise to potential employers.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But what about getting that initial foot in the door?
Right.
Are there any tips from RoleCatcher on how to stand out from the crowd when you're first starting out?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They offer some really practical advice on gaining a competitive edge. It's not just about what you know,
Yeah.
but what you can actually demonstrate.
So it's showtime.
Yeah,
Time to shine.
exactly.
And one of the best ways to do that is by building a strong portfolio.
A portfolio.
Yes.
Like what artists and designers use.
It's the same concept,
Okay.
just adapted for the world of microelectronics.
Yeah.
Think of it as a showcase for your skills and passion.
So how does a microelectronics technician go about building a portfolio?
I'm picturing tiny circuits glued to a piece of cardboard.
That would certainly be creative.
But no, it's more about documenting your projects and experiences in a way that highlights your skills.
Okay, so instead of tiny circuits glued to cardboard, we're talking about a digital showcase.
Right.
What does that look like in practice?
RoleCatcher recommends a few things.
Okay.
First, internships.
Yeah.
They're like gold in this field because they give you real-world experience you can actually talk about.
Internships, check. What else?
Personal projects.
Okay.
This is where you can really let your passion shine through.
Right.
Imagine building your own miniature electronics project, even something small.
Right.
It shows initiative and a genuine love for the work.
That's so cool. Yeah.
So it's about going above and beyond. Don't just tell them you're interested, show them.
Exactly.
Right.
And don't underestimate the power of networking.
Oh, right, yeah.
Attending industry events, connecting with people online.
Yeah.
Those connections can open doors you didn't even know existed.
Networking, internships, personal projects.
Yeah.
It's like building a three-pronged attack plan for
Yeah.
career success.
I like the way you think. And here's a bonus tip from RoleCatcher.
Okay.
Create a personal website or blog.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
That's a thing for microelectronics technicians.
It's becoming more and more common.
Wow.
It's a fantastic way to document your experiences, share your knowledge about microelectronics, and build a professional presence online. So you get to geek out about microchips and build your career at the same time. That's a win-win.
Totally.
This deep dive has been seriously insightful. We've gone from the tiniest components to big picture career advice. It's amazing how it all connects.
It is pretty cool.
Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap things up?
You know, what's really fascinating to me is that we've only scratched the surface.
Oh, okay.
What we've talked about today is just a snapshot of the present.
Right.
The world of microelectronics is constantly evolving,
Yeah,
with new technologies emerging all the time.
you're right. It's like the field itself is a microchip, constantly being upgraded. What kind of game changers are we talking about here?
Well, RoleCatcher mentions 3D printing and AI as having a huge potential impact on the future of microelectronics.
Now, those are two technologies I wouldn't have thought to connect with microchips.
Right.
Could 3D printing revolutionize how those tiny components are manufactured?
Exactly.
Wow.
And imagine AI automating certain aspects of a technician's work.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Could it free them up to tackle even more complex tasks?
Right.
It's a future bursting with possibilities,
Yeah.
but also potential challenges.
It really makes you think about the ethical implications, too. Like, if AI takes over some of the more technical aspects, what does that mean for the future of work in this field?
Precisely. It's a lot to consider. The one thing we can say for sure is that the world of microelectronics will continue to push boundaries. And with that comes a responsibility to think critically about the impact of those advancements.
It's like we're on the brink of a whole new era of technological innovation, and the people working in microelectronics are the ones shaping that future. That's incredibly exciting.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be a part of this field.
So for our listeners, if this deep dive has sparked your curiosity, don't stop here.
Keep learning.
Keep exploring. Dive into the world of 3D printing, AI, and how those technologies might revolutionize the microelectronics of tomorrow. Who knows, you might just find yourself at the forefront of the next big breakthrough. And as always, thanks for joining us for another deep dive on the Deep Dive. Catch you next time where we'll unpack another fascinating topic.